Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
He has 2 children, and it appears that they were caught in what appears to be an affair.
It was supposed to be just another Coldplay concert, lights, music, and harmless fun on the kiss cam. But when Chris Martin made one offhand remark about a nervous couple on the big screen, everything changed. Within hours, the man's face had a name. His company launched an investigation. His family disappeared from public view. And now, Chris has finally broken his silence. What did he see that night? And why has that single moment sent shockwaves through careers, marriages, and the concert world itself?
They realize they're on camera, then they pull the ripcord on that moment. I don't know where he went. Can you imagine getting busted at a Coldplay concert of all places?
Join us as we look into how Chris Martin broke silence about Andy Byron on live TV. Chris Martin breaks silence about Andy Byron on live TV. Chris Martin didn't set out to comment on any scandal. But on July 16, 2025, during Coldplay's Music of the Spheres concert at Gillette Stadium, he did just enough to ignite one. As part of his regular Jumbotron song segment, where he teases fans shown on the kiss cam, Martin notices a couple reacting nervously. The man had his arms around a woman. She seemed startled. As they ducked their faces, Martin told the crowd, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Laughter followed, but within hours, that line would carry consequences beyond entertainment. The moment was captured, clipped, and posted online by multiple fans. Viewers noticed the man's face, matched it to photos, and began drawing connections to Andy Byron, then CEO of the data analytics company Astronomer. Who was the woman beside him? Stay tuned. It's about to get even more interesting. The woman beside him, also blurred in the venue's footage, was identified by insiders as Kristen Cabot, Astronomer's chief people officer. Neither was supposed to be there together. The video exploded on social media overnight. Users on Reddit, X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok shared frame-by-frame analyses of the couple's reactions. Cabot had hidden her face behind a program brochure, while Byron smiled awkwardly and shifted away from the spotlight. Their names trended globally within 36 hours. Both were reported to be married to other people. Within Astronomer's internal Slack channels and professional circles, the video became a lightning rod. The company issued an initial response on LinkedIn 2 days later, stating that its leadership was expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and confirming that an internal investigation had begun. No names were mentioned in that post. However, journalists quickly confirmed that Byron had been placed on administrative leave, and that Cabot's employment status was also under internal review. What followed inside Astronomers was a rapid unraveling. The company's board of directors placed Byron on leave effective immediately and appointed Pete DeJoy, co-founder and chief product officer, as interim CEO. Anonymous sources within the company told tech outlets that the leadership team had been blindsided, not by the affair rumors, but by the public nature of their exposure. The kiss cam moment had not only gone viral, but had begun to impact Astronomer's reputation with clients. Several existing partners reportedly paused onboarding conversations pending clarification of the executive reshuffle. Astronomer had recently raised over $90 million in Series D funding and had been on track to announce 2 high-profile partnerships by late summer. Byron's resignation came a week later, finalized without a public statement. Kristen Cabot also resigned quietly. Neither has given an interview or offered a public response since the video's release. Internal emails confirmed that all statements would be routed through corporate communications until further notice. The online reaction remained divided. Some users criticized Martin's comment as invasive, suggesting that artists shouldn't speculate publicly about private relationships, especially in an age where clips go viral instantly. Others defended him, pointing out that the couple's exaggerated shyness was what made the moment stand out in the first place. Journalists noted that Martin had run this segment at nearly every show, often improvising jokes about couples without incident. What made this moment different was the level of recognition. Byron had appeared on industry panels and in Forbes profiles. Cabot had spoken at HR leadership summits. They were known to some in the crowd. That familiarity accelerated their identification and exposed them beyond the usual internet meme cycle. Comment sections filled with everything from jokes to speculation about company policy, with some calling for deeper scrutiny into astronomers' workplace ethics. Screenshots from astronomers' Glassdoor reviews began circulating, though few were confirmed as new or directly connected. Within media circles, the story morphed from viral clip to corporate scandal. Outlets like The Guardian, People, and Business Insider framed the story around the unintended consequences of live entertainment in a digital age. Ethics analysts weighed in, noting that while Martin's remark was likely improvised and meant in jest, its amplification underlined the power imbalance between celebrities and regular professionals caught in their lens. Astronomers' leadership shakeup became the center of tech coverage for a full week. Meanwhile, industry competitors issued quiet internal reminders about code of conduct and personal relationships in leadership roles. Investors reportedly urged the board to settle the matter quickly to avoid destabilizing valuation during its upcoming fourth-quarter planning round. Multiple attempts by news agencies to contact Byron and Cabot were unsuccessful. No denial, confirmation, or apology has been issued by either party, and their LinkedIn profiles remain inactive. As for Chris Martin, in interviews days later, when asked indirectly about the concert moment, he kept things vague, returning to broader topics of performance energy and fan engagement. But those who watched the original video say his tone shifted after the crowd's reaction. The humor faded. He looked momentarily concerned, even unsettled. "Holy shit. I hope we didn't do something bad," he had said just seconds after the crowd roared. It was a comment that now seems less like a joke and more like instinct, an artist realizing too late that something private had been dragged into the light. Coldplay's team has declined all follow-up interview requests on the matter, and Martin has not spoken about it since. This makes us even more curious about this scandal. Who were these two persons involved, and how has their families reacted to this? What you're about to hear will blow your mind. The two families caught in the fallout. Before the viral incident, Andy Byron's life was private and stable. He had been married to educator Megan Kerrigan for nearly 2 decades. They lived in Northborough, New York, with 2 sons. Megan managed school admissions and maintained a low-profile social presence. There were no public records of marital discord before the Coldplay incident. Within hours of the kiss cam clip spreading, Megan removed Byron from her name on public accounts and soon deleted all social media. Reports indicated she relocated to a family property in Maine, accompanied by relatives. No statements were issued by her or on her behalf. The abrupt disappearance of her digital footprint constituted the only sign of upheaval. Court records, news outlets, and personal profiles confirmed the marriage and family status. No divorce filings or direct endorsements appeared in early August. As the video identifying Byron circulated on TikTok, Reddit, and X, the public learned that he was placed on administrative leave by Astronomer. Online commentators noted Megan's sweeping actions as implied retaliation or retreat. Casual observers connected her departure from formerly visible platforms to a sudden reaction. At CyberEason, Byron had previously faced criticism from former employees for extreme management practices. Those resurfaced and added weight to his personal situation, though none referenced his family. Astronomers' Board confirmed Byron's leave officially, but journalists uncovered his family indirectly through property listings. The couple's children, never named publicly, were presumed young, school-aged. All tangible information regarding Byron's family came through secondary sources and professional profiles. Kristen Cabot's life was similarly low-key before the scandal. She had previously been married to Kenneth Thornby. That marriage ended sometime between 2018 and 2022, with 1 child from it. In early 2025, She married Andrew Cabot, CEO of Privateer Rum and descendant of the prominent Boston Cabot family. Public property records show the couple purchased a $2.2 million home in Rye, New Hampshire. In the Coldplay footage, Kristen wore no wedding ring. That detail, widely noted, added scrutiny to her marital stability. Within days, she resigned from Astronomer without comment. A clear public statement from her or her husband was never issued. Reports describe her withdrawal from all social platforms, with no appearances or interviews following the resignation announcement. Both women's actions were visible in public data and behavior, but silent in words. Meghan's social media deletion and Kristen's disappearance were interpreted widely in forums and social commentary as responses to trauma or humiliation. No interviews, op-eds, or personal communications emerged from either family. Snopes debunked multiple viral clips claiming to be statements from Meghan as AI fabrications. Journalists reached out to known contacts and neighbors, but the only available source material remained court filings and corporate records. Articles from The Guardian, Times of India, Economic Times, and others confirmed family ties, marriages, and the resignations, but had no quotes from relatives. The evidence rested entirely on public documentation and behavior, property deeds, LinkedIn deletions, and corporate filings. Despite widespread speculation, there are no legal filings or divorce documents as of early August. Property and corporate records show no transfers or disputes. Neither former spouse, Meghan, nor Andrew filed lawsuits or issued legal statements. Astronomer's PR strategy focused on corporate recovery, including an ad campaign featuring Gwyneth Paltrow and Ryan Reynolds, focusing media attention on the firm rather than personal breakdowns. That pivot left the families in obscurity. The silence from both couples formed a contrast with corporate declarations, which named only board members and interim executives. The families remained absent from press conferences or release statements. None participated publicly as spokespersons or private defenders. Everything known about their reactions stems from data trails, not spoken words. By early August, both families had faded entirely from public view. Meghan was unlisted on social media, with no new digital footprint. Kristen remained off LinkedIn and absent from news coverage. No images or updates surfaced. Investigations into workplace ethics, corporate governance, and celebrity influence accelerated. Legal experts discussed potential defamation suits or defamation risk, but none filed by family members were reported. Media coverage shifted to company actions and future governance policies. Yet for those directly affected by the viral moment, the spouses, the parents, and the children, the story remained untold. The ripple effects of the Kiss Cam incident extended beyond astronomers and the families involved. Public commentary from notable global figures and media entities added layers of interpretation. On July 17, 2025, New York Post reported that multiple MLB teams, particularly the Seattle Mariners and the St. Louis Cardinals, posted memes related to the moment. The Mariners featured catcher Cal Raleigh with the caption, "Need the big dumper to do some dumpin'," while the Cardinals uploaded a throwback of legendary players embracing, tagged, "When Coldplay starts playing your song." These posts drew hundreds of thousands of impressions and became part of the wider online cycle. Katie Nolan, a well-known sports broadcaster, posted on X about the speed of the scandal, describing the video's trajectory as white-hot viral. Meanwhile, Business Insider ran an editorial noting how Chris Martin's spontaneous humor led to a real-world executive fallout, calling it a case study in concert entertainment colliding with workplace governance. Badshah, a major Indian pop artist, joined the trend by referencing the scandal in a promotional post for his US tour, writing, "Don't worry, you're safe," a pointed comment aimed at couples attending live events. Additionally, The Guardian and People magazine continued coverage, with The Guardian noting that corporate identity and personal discretion had become increasingly difficult to separate in the age of social media and viral content. None of these public figures mentioned the families directly, but their visibility helped anchor the story in global pop culture. The Coldplay clip had altered their lives irrevocably, but all that remained visible were facts recorded by courts, companies, and property deeds. Now, talking about Coldplay, let's look deeper into their modus operandi. Curious? You're at the edge of your seat, and it's about to get even better. Inside Coldplay's world before the scandal. Coldplay's concerts are built around one thing: making the crowd feel like part of the show. It starts the moment fans walk in and get their LED wristbands, Xylo bands that light up in perfect sync with the music. These aren't party favors. They're essential to the design. When the lights go down, the wristbands flicker, pulse, and sweep across the stadium. Every seat becomes part of the set. That feeling of standing inside the music is what defines Coldplay Live. The stage has 3 sections, giving fans in the far corners something close up. Chris Martin roams from one to the next, greeting people, reading signs, and sometimes pulling them up on stage. Nothing in the show is left to chance, yet it all feels open. Fans don't just attend Coldplay shows. They become visible in them, sometimes literally. It's part of what's made the Music of the Spheres tour one of their most memorable. Is that what is behind the kiss cam idea? How could something so beautiful have turned into a disaster? Let's get into it. About halfway through most shows, the camera pans across the audience, picking out fans on the big screen. Chris Martin is usually seated at a small keyboard by then, singing improvised lines about whoever shows up on the screen. He might call out a couple dancing awkwardly, or wave at someone waving back. Fans know this moment. They wait for it. Online, it's often labeled the Jumbotron song, but it's less about the name and more about being seen. Martin takes what's happening in the seats and turns it into music on the spot. There are no pre-approved moments. One night, it's 2 strangers meeting. Another night, it's someone celebrating remission or a birthday. It's unrehearsed, but not unplanned. The tech crew cues the camera. The band adjusts volume. Still, each one feels like a moment that couldn't happen again the same way twice. The visual experience Coldplay creates is unmatched in its scale. Aside from the wristbands, they use floating orbs, projection mapping, lasers, and inflatable planets to fill the airspace above and around the crowd. Songs like Viva la Vida or Adventure of a Lifetime are matched with full stadium effects, waves of color, synchronized fireworks, and light shows that move across the venue like a living signal. The band started experimenting with these elements during earlier tours, but the current setup is the most ambitious they've done. There's even a satellite stage out in the crowd where Chris performs stripped-back versions of songs with just a guitar or piano. Every seat gets something close. Every song gets its own look. It's loud, it's layered, and no moment looks like the one before it. That's by design. Coldplay formed in 1996 and released their first album, Parachutes, in 2000. What began as a college band from London turned into one of the most recognized groups in the world. Their early music was guitar-heavy and quiet, with songs like Yellow and Trouble drawing comparisons to Radiohead and Travis. Later albums brought in strings, synths, choirs, and collaborations with artists from around the globe. The shift wasn't always subtle. Milo Zelotto in 2011 marked a bright, pop-heavy turn. Everyday Life in 2019 used gospel and Arabic influences. Now, with Music of the Spheres, the focus has moved into themes of distance, orbit, and connection. Each album has changed sound, but some elements have stayed. Major chords, rising melodies, and lyrics that lean toward the emotional. The band still writes for people in the crowd to sing back. They've also become known for how they tour. With Music of the Spheres, Coldplay committed to reducing carbon emissions by half compared to previous tours. Their main stage runs on solar and kinetic energy. Some power is generated by fans using pedal bikes or dancing on pressure-sensitive floors. Merchandise is made from recycled materials. Tour travel emissions are tracked and offset through reforestation and ocean projects. Few major acts run operations this detailed. Coldplay shares the data after each leg of the tour and partners with local climate groups in every city they visit. It's not a side note, it's part of the setup. Ticket holders can view a sustainability report as easily as a set list. This kind of logistics work happens behind the curtain, but fans are aware of it. It shows up in signs, announcements, and even in the credits that roll at the end of some shows. Coldplay's staying power is clear. The band has remained intact, same 4 members, for nearly 30 years. They've sold over 100 million albums, topped charts in multiple countries, and played in every major stadium across continents. But their focus has shifted. Now they build shows around feeling and participation. They use LED bracelets instead of lasers. They sing directly to strangers instead of standing behind pyrotechnics. Their concert design makes space for emotion, not just sound. Fans aren't just watching, they're part of the rhythm, the color, the timing. That sense of inclusion matters. It explains why their audiences range from teenagers to people who've followed them since the first record. Coldplay makes it feel like everyone belongs, at least for one night. And they do it using tools that go beyond music: light, space, voice, and the people watching from every corner of the crowd. Did Coldplay's Kiss Cam create a beautiful memory or trigger a public unraveling? And where do we draw the line between innocent fun and irreversible fallout? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it.